Yeah, I could tell. After lunch, tired. That was good. So, man, that performance, right? I'm actually a musician myself. Compared to her, I wouldn't even clarify or even say I'm an amateur musician compared to her, but she was absolutely phenomenal. Let's give her another round of applause. She was just like, wow. And what an opening for me, right? I look all fancy now and all that stuff. So, yeah, this is a very big, first let me say, as she said, I'm JD Salbego, CEO of Bitpanda. We're a Southeast Asia-based exchange with operations in China and currently in Singapore. Today actually is quite a big day for our team. And this is the official public announcement that I just joined as CEO officially 2 days ago. So you guys here get to hear it first, the first time ever. My parents don't even know. My friends in the community don't know. No one knows. This is the first time we've actually released it. And we were saving it for this conference. We want to thank the conference organizers for inviting our whole team here in Turkey. I haven't been here in 10 years. I've never spoken here before. I speak all around the world, but this is the first time in Turkey, and I want to thank you guys for having us. We've already started developing, before I came on, a lot of partnerships here and helping build out the community in Turkey. And I've been following Turkey for the past couple of years, and though it's a smaller community here, it's very vibrant. And just as much as Southeast Asia, well, specifically Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam, as those were small areas, or ecosystems in blockchain, they're starting to ramp up too, and that's being fueled by regulation and innovation, regulation-friendly innovation, actually. So I believe that Turkey is on its way to become a bustling ecosystem, and we're here to help out and collaborate with everyone. So I'm hoping that after I get off stage and later tonight and today, we have a booth, by the way, and at the after party tonight, we can all chat with all you guys, and we have a wonderful program at our exchange. It's very collaborative, and we harness the power of our community. We are a social-driven community exchange. So enough about that. Let's get into this wonderful presentation that we can start off with. And this topic was actually chosen, quite frankly, by the organizers. They felt this was an important topic right now in the day and age that we're in, and I can totally agree with that. Our industry has gone through so many changes in the past, specifically 5 years since it really started ramping up. But the market, from going from small exchanges to one or two top ones, to ICOs, to now IEOs, to STOs, to custody being a priority, to regulation approving ICOs and IEOs, to, I mean, you name it, right? Currently, right now, we're going to discuss is how the role of exchanges is with projects and IEOs, right? And how that relationship works. Because there has been a certain amount or a certain type of dynamic and relationship between projects and exchanges right now as the ICO bubble crashed and this moved into the IEO market. I mean, there's still ICOs, but we barely talk about them. But specifically with IEOs and exchanges being the gatekeepers now, where projects have to get listed. They can only issue to the primary market. That's old, securities law talk. They can't sell publicly or issue to primary market to their own website or any other platform or any other way that they want. They have to go through an exchange. So exchanges now have become sort of like the gatekeeper, right? We'll move on to the next part. A lot of projects come and go in this industry, as we know, okay? The ICO market was a huge boom. I'm sure you guys all felt it last year, as they say, the crypto winter. I was grateful that things kept moving on my end, but I worked very hard to keep it going. But the crypto winter happened, and things fell apart, and I think I just want to digress for a second. We're in a key moment from last year, 2019 to 2020, where the ICO boom and a lot of the projects that, either were scams or just absolute crap, which there was a lot of great ones, but there was also a high number of bad ones, kind of left a taint on our industry. And right now, with the industry that we're in, we are trying to disrupt this greatest power and control in the world. And guess what that is? Money. Money rules the world, as we know. All the central governments and the central banks around the world. use money to influence, control, for many good reasons and many bad reasons. So I'm only bringing that up because I got into blockchain specifically because my government, the US government, caused a whole global financial crisis and basically scammed our economy and the rest of the investors worldwide. So when I say that the rest of the, the governments and that are hating on Bitcoin and hating on that, I'm like, really, we're the scammers? How much has been scammed from, the big banks and everything in the whole world? So anyways, that's just me going off on a tangent. I will usually do that. So what the past markets used to be like, I'm sure there's a lot of experienced people here who know, and I'm just saying stuff that you guys are like, yeah, I know this already, but I know there's a lot of newcomers, and specifically now, in 2019 and 2020, we've had to make some of the most major pushes into mass adoption. So we're getting a lot of new investors, new business people, new corporations, and institutions that want to get into. So it's great that we can kind of digress and help them get in. I'm gonna get a little water. My lips are a little chapped. So anyways, so we're gonna move into what the past projects used to look like. And that was, hey, let's make a white paper. Let's make a website. Let's get a Telegram channel. Let's throw some people up on the website. And let's raise $100 million. Boom, just like that. And that was pretty cool, right? I'm sure all you guys are like, yeah, we want that again, right? Well, a lot of those projects were absolute crap and complete scams. And then some of them were absolutely incredible, and you guys don't know all those. So anyways, here we are now. We've moved into IEOs. We've moved into a new kind of paradigm in our industry where investors want to see real projects. This has to be more legit now. We actually, we have to be like the real tech industry. Not the industry that we kind of launched with ICOs. We actually have to build teams. We have to develop some stuff, whether you want to build user bases or any kind of revenue, you have to do some kind of development. At least have a solid product before you start actually gaining interest from retail investors, private investors, right? There's different structures, which started back in the end of the ICO days of equity and token, structures for investments. But in exchanges right now, some of them don't, and I can go off the top of my head and the ones that don't, but a lot of them do, and this is gonna sound weird, do their due diligence, right? So that's kind of the new, where we're at right now with exchanges. If you wanna launch a project and you wanna go for an IEO, number one, you're still gonna have to develop out the market. Most of the successful IEOs have raised at least $500 to $3 to $4 or $5 million before they did an IEO. And a lot of that was to develop out the market first, to build the buzz, build their community, online marketing, all that stuff. To help them expand into different territories, to do road shows. Most of the successful ones did that. Maybe they didn't all have 5 million, but they spent some kind of money in development. The biggest issue right now with projects going to exchanges are the ones that believe that I'm gonna go to an exchange with just my little project and I'm gonna get funded right away because all the investors on the exchange are gonna do that. That rarely ever happens. So I wanna make sure that is in the market and communicated, because there's a big issue with like everyone saying, oh, these exchanges are just scamming for IEOs. But yes, there's some BS going out there, but there's also a misconception with a lot of projects. I just had a project before I started with BitTalk. I had to restructure their entire thing because for 5 months they were expecting all this, anyways, it's a whole other story. So the process now that exchanges can do with new projects that want to get listed, or specifically with IEOs, is to do the due diligence. Do some kind of screening, make sure, because right now, exchanges, the market looks at exchanges with scrupulous eyes. Most people now, right? Because of the hacks, the exit scams, or whatever, projects are looking more for the real exchange. They want to know this is real. So vice versa, with exchanges, they want to do that with projects because any crap project they bring on is going to tarnish their name. And at least with some of the people in this industry, if you're in it for the quick buck to get out, by all means, go for it. Nothing wrong with being an opportunist. Me, on the other hand, this is my life, and I've been in this industry for about 5 years already as one of the early people, and I'm planning on disrupting the industry till I die. So, exchanges already can handle some of the regulatory compliance, at least making sure that they can verify the papers that they are regulated, some of these projects. or to a certain degree. And then once the listings or IEOs happen and they move forward, they can do active monitoring to make sure that things are above board. And I think it's all of us, all of our responsibility here in this community, again, if you're in it for the long run, to protect this industry, to make sure that it can flourish. You know, we all want to make money. You know, hey, I'm American, man. I'm all about opportunity. I'm sure everyone else is here. That's why you're here, right? You're not here totally just to make friends, right? Or go on a date. I know some of you are. No judgment there. But we're here to make money, to drive innovation in business. So with that, I'll leave that section off there. I hope I inspired some people with that. And then we're going to get into our wonderful exchange, BitTalk. We are the smarter, safer, and more social exchange. Right now, we've been around for 1 year, and our key MVP, we've already been active. We have over 200,000 active users on our exchange. What our goals primarily, which we have started, were a very simple, nimble, highly UX friendly. Whether you're, and again, as a disclaimer, our market, we will move into more institutional, but our market is more retail traders and high net worth individuals who want to trade, a less sophistication. So we're not trying to go with the hardcore traders right now with algorithms and stuff like that. What we're trying to focus on are the existing users in this market that have problems with some of the other exchanges that are too complicated for them. Crypto is already notorious for having a bad UX experience, or UX and UI and all that stuff like that. So we're trying to make it easy for them. And as opposed to like Coinbase, which started out with just a little wallet, we're similar, but we're not taking that huge fee. So we're going to give you that simplicity of the Coinbase wallet, but with a market and limit order and the regular low trading fee like the rest of the exchanges. We have a strict KYC process, which we want to talk about because that's great, especially in this day and age. We have a wonderful new program that we've launched, which is an investor community validation program. And what this does is allow new projects to test out our exchange and let our community validate them, where they can buy future contracts. This is an easy onboarding process at very low tier cost, so you guys can come onto our exchange, test out the waters, and obviously when you love it, then we can go full board. But it's a win-win for all of us. We're trying to help the market right now. Along with that, with certain new projects that want to get listed, we have another program as well. So for lower cost profiles for different projects based upon where you're at, just the level of revenue or where you're at with the project. We are very user friendly. Our goal is to build out the market. That's what this is, a collaborative process. Some of our future features is going to be the fiat to crypto gateway. We've already started making progress with that. That's a big thing because as we know, a lot of you people who are here in different territories, when I want to trade on another exchange out of the country, or I hate even saying this in public, I'm American, but when I get paid in crypto, oh well, I pay my taxes, so it shouldn't matter. But when I get paid in crypto, I have to do all this trading, right? Which I stack up fees. I'm subject, even when I use USDT or some stablecoin, I still have to touch a volatile crypto or asset like Bitcoin or something else, then send it to my wallet, Coinbase, and then to my bank, right, if I want that. So we're implementing that. That's a big feature for that, and most of the major exchanges don't do that, as you know. We are going to be launching our own token very soon, so we'll keep you up to date with that. It'll be a very incentivizing structure with staking and everything to use on our platform. And then we will be doing an ILO launch pad by the end of the year as well. Again, what I wanted to focus on was how flexible our platform is and great UX. It's simple. You go on there and you could be a 5-year-old and be like, oh, okay, that's how you trade? We have simple, right now, market limit orders. Done deal with very low fees. As you can tell from our market right now, most of it is China, because that's where we launched out of. We have a high impact, high investor rate in China right now, and the rest is in Southeast Asia and Europe. Right now, we already applied as I move forward. I'm sure you guys like those little blocks dropping. That was an accident I didn't even program that in. I just like the blocks. So We've already applied for our license in Singapore, and we got approval to operate for the next 6 months during the application process. So we are not fully licensed already, but we've already got approval to operate in Singapore. That's where our main offices are, in Singapore and KL, Malaysia, and then we have some of our partners here as well in Turkey, because we love Turkey and we believe in this economy. Next on the timeline in Q3 and 2, we'll be expanding further into Southeast Asia. Right now, as I mentioned, we have Singapore, China. We'll be moving down into Vietnam, Thailand, and the Philippines. All those markets are just buzzing and blowing up right now, just like Turkey. They are what I like to call them emerging markets in crypto. Specifically Thailand. I just spoke there in December, and that industry is just, because the government is fueling innovation with regulatory friendly frameworks, and that's why. I mean, the stock exchange is about to start listing STOs. I mean, we're having like cross-border payments. I think, I forgot the name of the startup. They just raised 35 million in Thailand, a startup of equity. I haven't never heard of that almost. Using the Stellar network for micropayments and remittance, and a bunch of big Japanese and Singaporean banks invested in them. A lot of big stuff's happening there. That is our main target. For me, I've been the expert kind of in Asia, being the kind of, Caucasian guy, and like my Japanese friends like to call me, I'm like the samurai gaijin. Gaijin is the white monster, white ghost in Japan for expats. So I'm the samurai one. I've always been throughout this industry kind of like the go-to Asia expert for US and European companies wanting to expand, or Asian companies wanting to expand further through APAC or back into Europe and the United States. Next, we move into Q4, and that will be expanding further into the Middle East with a banking license, a full operations, and we'll localize the whole territory. Middle East is buzzing as well, and we're a firm believer in that as well. Now into Q4, we're going to move into some of the bigger APAC economies, Japan and South Korea, which were two of my biggest territories when I've been working in this industry. Japan used to be the #1 crypto economy. It's gone through some changes right now because of the government kind of regulating and shutting things down and kind of killing the buzz, but it's about to come back strong with their new regulatory framework released in April. Seoul has been buzzing nonstop and basically hasn't stopped since the ICO boom. I love South Korea. It's an incredible market, a lot of innovation, a lot of deals getting done. Anyone who hasn't been to Seoul or Japan, in here, I highly suggest you guys explore those markets. Very good business there. Asia has always been the best markets for crypto. Throughout all these expansions, we'll be offering 24/7 customer service in all the languages of every market that we localize. Currently, we offer it in Chinese and English right now. We'll also be operating and setting up another crypto to fiat gateway across Japan and South Korea. We already have the relationships established with the regulatory framework there and some of the banks as well, and we're just looking for new milestones to achieve, and then we can focus on our resources there. The exciting thing about running exchange, I would say, is that you get to touch markets in a way and kind of inspire people, right, with this new money. Obviously, you can invest and make money, right? But I think the exciting part is that we're able to invest in assets, we're able to send money to people without borders, right? Isn't that what we're doing here? Crypto, blockchain, the foundation is borderless and decentralized. I actually just wrote an article in Cointelegraph. I write for them and put out an article every month. And actually discussing the things like Facebook and JP Morgan, right? And those are all centralized blockchain systems, and those can be a very big threat to what blockchain stands for. Blockchain stands for the shared data, decentralization, the equality, not the economic control, and not the fair market value. There's none of that. With hierarchy and centralization, like the companies like Facebook, Google, and the central banks, and maybe in America, the Fed. markets are manipulated on a second-by-second basis. So running exchange, I am very proud of that and excited for that. So I hope that you guys afterwards can come find me or my team. We have a booth in there right in front, Bit Talk. Got a lot of great stuff to hand out, or see us tonight and talk. Let's do some business, all right? Thanks for having me. Thank you.